You know that feeling, right? That dreaded Monday morning grogginess? It feels like the week has already beaten you before it's even started. But what if I told you that getting over it isn't about chugging more coffee? What if it's about a super simple, powerful rule you can literally start using this weekend?
Oh yeah, we've all been there. You sit down at your desk, you're staring at your screen, and your brain just feels, well, stuck, like it's running on dial-up. If you feel like you're starting your week a few steps behind everyone else, I'm here to tell you it is absolutely not just you. Okay, but here's the really important thing to get your head around. This isn't some kind of personal failure. It's not a sign that you're lazy. Nope. It's actually a really common biological thing that happens to a ton of us. And the best part, it has a name, it has a cause, and most importantly, there's a solution that we can actually control.
So that feeling of just being off on a Monday, it goes way deeper than just being tired. It's really a symptom of this fundamental disconnect. Think of it like a gap between your body's own internal clock and the schedule the rest of the world is forcing you to keep.
And this weekly disconnect, it actually has a scientific name that honestly perfectly captures the experience. It's called social jet lag. And nope, you definitely don't need to get on a plane to feel its effects.
So what is social jet lag? Well, it's basically the conflict between your body's natural sleep rhythm, your biological clock, and the demands of your social clock, like your work or school schedule. The bottom line is, by dramatically changing your sleep schedule on the weekend, you're basically giving your body the same experience as flying across time zones, all without ever leaving your house.
Okay, let's look at just how extreme this shift can be. So let's say during the week you sleep from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. That puts your sleep midpoint right at 3 a.m. But then the weekend hits. You stay up till 2 a.m. and sleep until 11. All of a sudden, your new midpoint is 6:30 a.m. Do the math. That is a 3.5-hour jump. As far as your brain is concerned, you might as well have woken up in a different country.
Now, this might just seem like, the normal consequence of having a fun weekend, right? But the cost to your brain it's huge. In fact, research is telling us we should think about this weekly shift as something way, way more damaging than just a bad habit.
And this is probably the single most important thing you're going to hear. According to researchers, and I'm quoting here, shifting your rhythm by more than 2 hours acts like a traumatic brain injury to your focus. Wow. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not just talking about feeling a little tired here. We're talking about actively damaging your ability to think clearly.
So what exactly gets hit by this weekly injury? Well, we're talking about the core functions you rely on every single day. Your focus? Shattered. Your memory? It gets way less reliable. Your ability to make good decisions? That gets impaired. And that overall cognitive edge, the one you work so hard to maintain, poof, it just vanishes. You are, in effect, making yourself biologically dull every single month.
Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's pretty serious. But the good news, and there is really good news, is that the solution is shockingly simple. You don't need any fancy biohacks or expensive supplements. It all comes down to one clear, totally actionable idea: the 2-hour rule.
That's it. 2 hours, this is the magic number. It's the dividing line between starting your week sharp and ready to go and starting it in that familiar, frustrating fog.
So here's the rule, plain and simple. To protect your brain and perform at your absolute peak, you have to keep the time difference between your weekday sleep midpoint and your weekend sleep midpoint under 2 hours. That's it. That's the critical threshold. And hey, you can figure this out for yourself right now. It's easy. Step 1, find the halfway point of your typical weekday sleep. So if you sleep from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., that's 3 a.m. Got it? Okay. Step 2, do the exact same thing for your weekend. Maybe you sleep from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m., which puts your midpoint at 5:30 a.m. Now for the final step, just calculate the difference. In this example, it's 2.5 hours. Boom, you've crossed the threshold. You are actively giving yourself a case of social jet lag. So what does following this rule actually mean for your life? Does it mean your weekends are ruined? Absolutely not. It's not about taking the fun out of your weekend. It's about reclaiming the power of your entire week with just one small mindful adjustment.
Look, this isn't a prescription to live like a monk and be in bed by 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. Not at all. It's just about being mindful of the shift. So if you stay up an hour later, maybe you only sleep in an hour later. See? It's about managing the shift, not getting rid of it entirely. The goal isn't some crazy rigid schedule. It's protecting your mental performance. That way, when Monday rolls around, you're not fighting your own biology. You're just sharp, clear, and ready to go.
So the big takeaway here is this. That Monday morning fog, it isn't your destiny.
It's a direct result of your weekend choices. By respecting that 2-hour window, you're literally protecting your brain's highest functions. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What could you accomplish if you started every single week as the sharpest version of yourself?